Hello, I'm gonna be showing you how I make my gacha videos. This is for if you wanna get started. So first you're gonna need some characters. You have to either create them or you probably already have them. That depends. You can either use Gacha Club, Gacha Life, or Gacha Life 2. Just depends. In this case, I'm gonna be using Gacha Life. Um, so I'm gonna be using these two characters, and now I'm gonna have to position them. So when you're oh, I already have characters. Let me just eliminate them, or well, actually, no, I kind of like them. I'm gonna keep them actually, or not. Actually, no, yeah, I'm gonna keep them. I think it might help a little bit. It's nice to have background characters depending on what the scene is gonna be. Like if it's gonna be at school, it's nice to have at least two characters, to have more than just the main two or main three, depending on how many you're going to be using. They also have to match, kind of. Not really. I mean because of the singer, but it kind of adds more to the scene, I guess. Now I'm going to have to position them. So when you first do this, you're going to have to take screenshots, and depending on what you're doing, since I'm using Gacha Life, there's not really going to be much poses I could use, but I have to like kind of improvise to make the movement a little bit more smooth. You also have to be careful with how close or far away it is. The way you make it closer is you make the character bigger. The way you make it, like right now, the way you make it look more far away is by making it smaller, like the characters in the background. For example, right here, she looks up close up. I prefer the characters, at least right now, I'm starting to prefer the characters close up. Now, if you make them smaller, they're going to be farther away, even smaller, even more farther away, and so on and so on. Like right now, she's on the stairs, or right now, she's with other back characters. But for now, I'm going to keep it up close. You also want to be careful to not make it too big, as that could also be a bit of a problem. So now I am gonna be changing their expressions. You also have to be paying attention to their expressions, to what their action and expression and what they're gonna be later on. If you know, for example, right now, I'm gonna position her where she's looking away from her boyfriend. I guess is gonna be in the scene. The boyfriend is gonna be walking up towards her, and she, instead of looking at him walk up to her, I'm gonna make her look away in a different direction, um, and then just seem like he walks up to her. Because I don't want her to just be staring into space. Um, what you could do is make her have an object, make her seem like she's paying attention to an object. Like in this case, I'm adding the face and I'm making her just like feel like a little silly face, making her look like she's just thinking, like she's dreaming, like daydreaming and all that, instead of making her just have a plain face. For the other characters, if they're gonna be the same, they're gonna be like the same, they're gonna be just as up close as her. You're gonna have to be careful and make sure that they are the same like height. Although their height from right here is the same, their height from their like character it might vary depending on how high, how tall or short you make them. When you're walking, this one doesn't have the same poses as Gacha Life, so you're gonna just have to use the same one. You're gonna have to just be careful with how you place it, not too far away, not too close up. That way, the movement is not too. It doesn't look like it's too speed up. It doesn't look like it's glitching. That way, it's not like characters used to look like. Because I remember characters would be like this. We don't want to do that. At least not anymore. I mean, you could, depending on what the scene is gonna be. But if you want the scene to be more like smooth movement, you probably don't want to be doing it that far away. Now, if it's too close together, I mean, it could work, but at the same time, it sometimes looks off. You also have to be careful not to make it go up or down, because you don't want it to go up, down like this, because it will sometimes maybe look a little weird, a little bit if it's too much, but it also doesn't have to be like perfect, because I do know that sometimes you can't really get it to go in a straight line, so if there's a little bit up and down or a little bit farther away, it's fine as well. Now again, you have to pay attention to how they are, their expression. You should try and think and like be in their shoes to try and think like how are they gonna be like right now, instead of making it go from straight up and down, I'm gonna make it her like, see, instead of going making her low step by step lower her arms, so this might take up this. Oh wow. Oh wow, I lost my voice right there. Why am I sick? Basically, I don't know. But maybe let me go. Oh wow. Okay. I think my voice is back. Is it back? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's back. So yeah, just think about their expression, and how, like, try and be in their shoes. Wait, what was I saying? I don't know. Okay, well, try and be in their shoes and their expressions, and like, if you know they're scared, don't have like a plain face, like make them scared. I mean, that's kind of obvious. If they're sad, but they're not crying, but they make them have a sad face, or if they're gonna start crying, maybe make a sad face and then start crying instead of just straight crying, like straight face and crying. Like, it's kind of like steps. So yeah, it's probably gonna take a few screenshots. So I'm like right here, instead of putting the hand straight up for the guy, he's raising the hand, like normal hand down, raising the hand, and where is it? Now lowering the hand. No, like this. Yeah, yeah. So it's like hand lowered, hand mid, hand high, and then when taking it down, hand mid, like mid air, and then hand down, kind of like this. Yeah, I missed that part. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, and then when they're talking, you also kind of have to change. Like, for example, here, instead of like straight turning around, it's kind of like somewhat turning around, changing the expression, and then turning around, like right here. Again, remember with expressions, instead of like straight up changing, change them bit by bit if you know that there's gonna be like spaces between, like right there. That gives you a little bit of space to change the expression to make it a little bit smoother. See, instead of like straight up being just turn around, there's like a little pose in between that will make the movement a little bit smoother. And now again with the faces. Commercial. Okay, so I'm gonna just fast forward this part a little bit. I'm gonna fast forward. Okay, so now in this part for the eyes, you could put that eye as to make it close, make the movement more smooth, but I just don't like the way it looks, so I preferably just go from that to that. Although that would be your choice. For smoother movement, you want to make the eyes close bit by bit. I just do not like the way it looks in gacha club, that's where I do make the eyes, because you can adjust the eyes, like make them bigger and smaller. So I just make them smaller and smaller because I feel like the movement is smoother. I just prefer in gacha club making the eyes like change smaller and smaller as for the movement to be smoother. But in gacha live, I just do not really like how it looks. Although it looks good, it's just not like what I like. So that would be up to you whether you like for the eyes you want to make them smaller. Again, with the movement, instead of making them like from hand down to up, you make it like down, hand rising, and then up, as to make the movements a little bit smoother, like this pose right there, and then from there going to there. That makes it easier. Again, with the faces, you don't want to leave certain mouth too long. For example, I changed this one to a wider one. You really do not want to keep it for too long or too short, maybe, depending on which one it is. Again, for the blush, I do not want to add too much. If I add too much, it looks not weird, but like it doesn't look right depending on the scene. So I just preferably add it a little bit. Also, if they originally have a little bit and they're gonna blush a little bit more, it's best to add just a little bit instead of a lot more, because it's gonna just look different. Or if you are gonna make it add more, you're gonna have to add like little by little, or you might have to use the same screenshot and then do the same one with a lot more and make it like look like the one with a little blush and the one with a lot of blush blend in. I preferably use CapCut, like right here. So in this one, since they're walking, at least the boy, I'm gonna make them short. I preferably for when they're walking or they're making movement like with their hands, or maybe depending on their expression, I preferably like to make them really short, like 0.2, I think. Well, where the 2 is 0.2, and so that's what I preferably like. That way, they're not, the spaces between like from this scene and that scene are not too long, but not too short either. Okay, so okay, so here is gonna be the end ish right here. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like. Right now, let me just export it. I didn't record this part, but I did change the background, the template, to TikTok, which all you have to do is go to the bottom and click this, and the one it was on before, it's always on this one, was the original one. I just changed it for the TikTok one, the one that has like the TikTok symbol. And I use the TikTok one when I'm doing YouTube shorts, because if I post with the original one, it's gonna make it bigger and you really won't be able to see the video completely. When I do use the TikTok one, it will leave some space above and below, but it's better because you can actually see the video. It can depend on what the video or the scene is. You can change it to be bigger or smaller as you like. For example, right here, you can make it bigger. You can make your characters like these really small, and then you will zoom in. That way, it can fill up the whole space. But I prefer to keep it like this. It's more down, but like it's like that. That's how I usually post my videos. That way you can see all of it. You can also add effects to it. For example, like right here, you go to effects and you add effects. If you're going to be adding effects, I prefer to add the effects, export it again, and then add the text which is the like the words where like what the characters are saying, because then the effects will also kind of like, from what how I've done it, it will kind of like go over the words as well, especially if you do the words before the effects. That's why I do first the video, then the effects, and then the words at the very end. It does take time and you do have to be patient, but it's honestly worth it.